Welcome back, friends. In this lecture, we will discuss about stored procedures. We already discussed about the difference between the stored procedures and the functions in the previous lecture. So, in this lecture, we are going to explore some hands-on practice in stored procedures by using MySQL Workbench. So, by generally speaking, the queries are used to retrieve the data at a particular time. In order to perform the queries repeatedly, we are going for stored procedures. So stored procedures are pre-scripting languages. So like a scripting language, you can perform the stored procedures like a sequence of statements. So while executing this sequence of statements, this will results you what are all the things you require to perform in a repeated manner, like a scripting program. Okay. So now we will see how to create a stored procedure. So in order to create a stored procedure, first we have to create a database. So here we are not going to create a new database in our lecture. We are going to use the existing database. So I am using the existing database, use Kausigan 1. So just run this query. Then I am going to start the creation of the stored procedures. So in order to create a stored procedure, first you have to give the delimiter. So I'm using the delimiter as double slash here. Then you can begin your query like this, create procedure, then procedure name. I'm giving the procedure name as get student of. Then you have to include the begin statement, then mention with select star from the name of the table is student. From the student table, I am retrieving the data and storing in the procedure called get student. Then mention it with end double slash. So double slash is a delimiter. So actually the purpose of the delimiter is the delimiter can be and be used to mention the termination of the particular procedure. Okay. So it can be used in order to execute the procedure fully. So here we are declaring the delimiter that we are going to use the double slash as the delimiter. Okay. Now just run this query now. You can see here. So it is mentioned creation of the now you see here after running this query, so you have to run this query from this delimiter. Okay. So after running this query, the stored procedure has been created with the name of the get student. You can verify the stored procedure, the created stored procedure in the left hand side of your database dashboard. So just refresh this. Now you can see here under the stored procedure, a stored procedure has been created with get student. Now you can check with what are all the values included in the stored procedure. So what we did here is from the student table, we are retrieving the data and we are storing into the stored procedure that is called as get student of. Okay. Now, in order to run the query, in order to explore what it is available in the stored procedure, just mention the syntax call get student of then semicolon. Now you run this query. Now you can see here. So these are the data available in the stored procedure get student. So how this data has been included in the stored procedure get student? So because we are retrieving the data from the student table, that details will be included in the get student of the stored procedure. Okay. So this is how we can create a stored procedure. In order to drop a stored procedure, so just mention the query drop procedure and name of the procedure. Here name of the procedure is get student and mention with the semicolon. So run this query. So now you can see here the procedure has been dropped. Okay. So nothing is available here. In the left hand side in the dashboard, you can verify this. So if for sometimes if you forget that the procedure in order to that you have dropped a procedure already, but again if you are giving the same query means it will display an error. Okay, like this. For example, I'm giving the query again. I'm giving the query again and I'm running the thing. It will produce an error. So what error it will produce is the procedure Kausigan one get student does not exist. Okay, the meaning is it has been already dropped. There is no procedure called get student in the Kausigan one database. So in order to avoid that error, so we can use this query drop procedure if exists. If exists, then procedure name get student. Okay. Now you run this query, it will not produce an error. The meaning is if there is a procedure called get student, then the procedure can be dropped. That is the meaning for this. It will produce the warning alone. So you can see here drop procedure if exists get student, the warning it produces a volume that warning that the procedure Kausigan one dot get student does not exist. So it will produce only the warning. It will not produce an error. Okay. So this is how we can create a procedure and we can retrieve the data from the table and include the data into the procedure and we can drop a procedure. I hope you have understood the concept. We will meet in the next lecture. Thank you.